Have you ever heard of GREIGE hair? Well, that's what my client requested, so keep watching to see how we created this new look. Before we get into the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Here's my client before. She really likes the cooler tone, so we're gonna cool her down quite a bit. And we're gonna start off by doing her hairline foil. And I had somebody tell me in my comments, hello, that she really likes watching the whole process. So in this video, I'm not gonna cut out all of my grabbing my foil, grabbing my brush, all of that stuff, because she said that she kind of just likes watching the whole process instead of clicking through and shortening the clips up a little bit. So I'm gonna try it out this time. It's kind of giving me a little bit of anxiety because I'm afraid that you guys are gonna get bored and you don't care about me sectioning and clipping up my client's hair. So leave a comment on what you prefer. Do you like watching the whole process like this, or do you just like when I break down the clips and show what I'm doing to shorten the video up a little bit? Let me know, because I don't want to lose you guys watching views or get bored of my videos and skipping my videos up or whatever. So let me know what type of videos you prefer. We're just doing a partial foil, so I'm gonna do vertical foils back to her ear, and then I've already gone and done the other side. And because of the way her hairline is, also when I go through, it kind of had not like a widow's peak, but it kind of V's a little bit. So I'm gonna start off and foil on one side, really fine foils, and then I'm gonna go through and do the other side. And also, she parts her hair pretty far over onto the side, so that's why I'm gonna go down a little bit further when I do her partial foil. Usually I don't go down that far when I do partials, but because I want to make sure that wherever she flips her hair, that she'll have coverage with the foils, so that's why I'm gonna go down a little bit further than I normally would. Also, one way to save your foils is when you're going through and doing such fine, small sections, tear your foils in half. I can't stand watching people do the smallest little piece of hair and they will use a full foil for that. I mean, everybody has their own preference, but it just makes me feel like you are wasting the foil. So go through, break your foils up a little bit. I also feel like it prevents it from not weighing the hair down. Sometimes the foil can be a little bit heavy and slide, so I feel like this is a good way to prevent the foil from sliding when you're doing such a small, fine piece of section. Okay, so this is the side that she parts her hair on, so I'm starting down quite a bit further than I normally would. That way she has, her coverage where her part falls. And then I'm gonna foil horizontally up the side of her head, and then I'm gonna go through and do the same on the other side. Here we are on the other side, and you can kind of see right here that the foils meet in the back. So this makes it kind of nice because now I don't have to worry about going back through and doing a section up the back part of her head. And this is because I did probably like 5 or 6 foils at her hairline back to her ear. So it makes it easier when I start doing horizontal foils that they end up meeting towards the back. And all I'm gonna do when I get in the back area is pop like 1 or 2 foils in to make sure that it has enough coverage. So this is all the foiling we did, just weaves back to back with no sectioning in between, and just pop that little one in the back area. Okay, so now we're gonna go through and measure for our root shadow. This is what we're gonna use. I really like using more vibrance for this. So she wants a greige color, and adding this, the 612, I believe it is, it gives it that really nice darker ashy tone. And then we're gonna mix a little bit of the level 8 in there too, just to brighten it up a little bit. But having the level 6 in there really cools it down a lot. And here's her hair after washing it. You can see how bright we got her roots. We're just gonna go through and tap it a little bit. And I always drag it down a little bit further in the back area. It just looks a little bit more natural that way. And the greige look that she wants, she really likes her hair to be pretty cool, but she doesn't want it to be super cool. She wants like a soft hint of warmth in it. And when she first told me about it, I was like, I've never heard of this before, greige. But I'm actually, when we did it the first time, it was so beautiful. So I really like this color that she kind of made up, and it looks really, really good on her. So I've started sectioning my hair kind of diagonally back when I apply my root shadows. I feel like this makes it a lot easier when you work your way to the front of the hairline. You don't have to worry about getting too much at the very front of the face, and then it's gonna darken it up too much. So I feel like just doing it this way makes a lot easier to blend the hairline in and just barely tap the hairline versus doing horizontal sectionings. I don't know, I just like it this way a little bit better. You can see here that since I sectioned my hair diagonally back and already combed the hair back, it kind of frees up space around the front of the hairline. And I usually like to do this very, very last because I don't want it to tone too much. I just want a little bit of a hint of a shadow. So that's why I prefer it this way. It just makes it a lot easier. And here again, I waited till the very last second after I applied to the other side to go through and just barely tap the front of her hairline in this area too. So the front money piece area, I feel like is pretty tricky. I mean, you barely want to tap it, like just hardly at all. And don't comb it through because this is where you want to keep it brighter. And then after I've applied everything in its processing, I just go through and swipe through the hair a little bit just to kind of drag it down in some areas. That way it gives a little bit of a ribbon effect kind of through the mid shaft to the ends of the hair. So now that she's got her root shadow on, I kind of realized that I need to brighten her up in a few areas because I don't want her to feel too dark. So I'm going through and I'm going to paint a little bit just in her front area, just to give her a really nice brightness around her face. And then throughout her ends, I'm just gonna kind of do some higher points and some lower points. That way she has a little bit more brightness throughout the rest of her hair. Honestly, I didn't think that this was a step that I was going to be doing, or else I would have brightened her up through her ends while her foils were processing with lightener earlier. But I think this is just a good point to make, that sometimes the whole service doesn't go as you think it will. So just go through and correct it when you feel like you need to, and it doesn't have to be a big deal. And now that we've brightened up her ends a little bit, this is what we're gonna go through and tone that with. Okay, so here's the final comb out. You can see how great her ends blend with her roots. I'm so glad we went back through and painted some of those balayage pieces, because she has really nice dimensional colors of some brighter pieces, some darker pieces, and she honestly looks amazing with this color, and I think it turned out so pretty. So here's her final greige look. If you guys have any questions or comments, please leave it in the section below. I would be happy to get back to you. I always love reading your feedback. Thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.